What's going on, Padawans? It's your Jedi Master, Bo Weber, the original Webhead. Today I'm going to be explaining the Bigger Luke theory. In the Star Wars universe, there are various scenes of Luke with different heights. Small Luke and large Luke. Throughout the film, you can see Luke at different heights compared to other characters like Han Solo. One explanation is the Hamill hypothesis. A Mark Hamill lookalike for certain scenes because the real Mark Hamill supposedly got into a car accident before all the scenes were shot. An even deeper hypothesis is that there are two Luke Skywalkers within the Star Wars universe, and these height differences were intended. There are even brief foreshadowing nods that support this height difference as something intentional when Obi-Wan says to small Luke, also known as Luke Prime,
"You've taken your first step into a larger world."
You've taken your first step into a larger world. Obi-Wan may have implied that he was aware of Bigger Luke. We already know Obi-Wan knew more than he was letting on to Luke at the time, and for unknown reasons kept many secrets of Luke from Luke. Another supporting comment is the evidence of there being a second Luke Skywalker is from Luke's sister Leia when they meet for the first time, and she says,
"Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?"
"Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?" Her comment, referencing his height issue, suggests that she already knew that there were two Luke Skywalkers. Most likely subconsciously through the Force, though, because she didn't yet know who Luke Skywalker was, or even that there was a Luke in the uniform under that helmet. All this begs the question, why? Why is there a Bigger Luke? And is the Bigger Luke a second Luke, or just the same Luke that someone is resizing? Some theorists say that Obi-Wan created an illusionary, slightly larger Luke while on the Death Star, possibly while hiding in the Millennium Falcon's hidden compartments. The benefit of this is unclear. Perhaps it was to frighten Imperial stormtroopers, and maybe Obi-Wan has just been doing this all along. Obi-Wan may have been replacing regular Luke with larger Luke at random times during the life of both Lukes in order to deter would-be Imperial entanglements. It's possible this is the key to why the stormtroopers allegedly have a really poor aim, because the different sizes of Luke are what are throwing them off. But we do know that Obi-Wan had the ability to transport himself to safety just before Darth Vader would have sliced him in half. There's no reason that Obi-Wan lacked the ability to transport Lukes around the universe remotely as well. Another possible explanation of why there were two Lukes is that one of them was a clone. Obi-Wan had a clone building connection, and could have used it to make Jedi replicas in order to make up for the sudden decrease in Jedis, or to get Luke out of farm work at Uncle Owen's. Even if Obi-Wan lost touch with his clone connect, it's very possible R2-D2 assimilated enough knowledge of his cloning during his adventures, having been smack dab in the middle of the Clone Wars for quite some time after all. In A New Hope, Luke tells the droids,
"Not unless you can alter time, speed up the harvest, or teleport me off this rock."
"Not unless you can alter time, speed up the harvest, or teleport me off this rock." This could also make sense as an explanation for triggering the teleportation of the Lukes. Either R2 was doing it, or he was able to communicate it to Obi-Wan. Both Lukes symbolize the duality that Luke had with the dark side and the light side, representing the different sides of the character, one of them being pulled to the dark, while the other is being pulled to the light. While Jediing on Dagobah, the two Lukes train, and it's assumed that Bigger Luke, as a clone, knew his path to the dark side was inevitable. Therefore, in secrecy, between Bigger Luke, Yoda, and R2, it was likely decided that as part of little Luke's final training, Bigger Luke would wear Vader's armor in the final training exercise and sacrifice himself for regular Luke. Luke Prime kills Bigger Luke, with R2 giving him a merciful death. The truth is unmasked. We see the face of Bigger Luke as his mask explodes and his head rolls onto the ground. It's important to note that this confirms the Bigger Luke theory. This is the first time we see both Lukes together, and one is shown to be slightly taller than the other. This is why during the final confrontation with Darth Vader, Luke Prime doesn't turn to the dark side like the Emperor had foreseen. The Emperor must have known about both Lukes, and had originally planned to have Bigger Luke kill Vader in order to replace him and turn to the dark side. This doesn't happen, and the Emperor realizes that this was only possible with Bigger Luke, and therefore proceeds to attempt to kill the smaller imposter. George Lucas has never confirmed, or denied, the existence of Bigger Luke, but instead leaves it a mystery. The evidence is obvious. For example, Boba Fett was a clone of Jango Fett, and could be argued to just be small Jango. In A New Hope, we clearly saw Greedo Prime murdered by Han Solo, only to later see other Greedos. And Jabba here had a clone in The Phantom Menace. Even Luke's mom had a decoy clone.
I am Queen Amidala. This is my decoy, my protection, my loyal bodyguard.
Do the math, webheads. The entire Star Wars universe is filled with clones of some kind or another. It's all ordered. There is an order to everything if you look closely enough. Anyways, don't be a rebel, subscribe for more, and may the Force be with you.